We're happy now to be joined by the Ohio State Director of Athletics, Gene Smith, who is calling the drive with Jackson and McCoy. Gene, I know you were there on Saturday night. How special was that victory for the Buckeyes at a very, very difficult environment?
Well, it was awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys. But it was an unbelievable experience. It always is when you go over there. They do such a great job with their atmosphere, and they have obviously that reputation. And I'm just proud of our guys. You know, they hung in there and were resilient, never quit, and you know, fortunately, the whole team took over, but our athletes took over it in the end. And as you guys were just saying, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So
yeah, exactly.
I'll take that any day if it gives me 1 point.
Absolutely. So, Gene, we were just talking about Nick Saban and his complaint in regards to the fan size, the student section, and we talked about the ratings on television in regards to Big Ten games. What's different about Big Ten football compared to the rest of the country? You played at Notre Dame. You've been all over the country. Why is Big Ten football so special in regards to sizes of fan bases?
Well, I think, one, you know, we're blessed to have a few schools like ours that have huge alumni bases. You know, Penn State obviously has a large alumni base. Michigan has one as well. And so we have a number of older land-grant institutions and been in place for a long time. Michigan State was the pioneer land-grant institution, a large alumni base. And obviously, geographically, for a long time, we dominated the population. That's dwindled a little bit since the manufacturing industry has gone southeast a little bit and some southwest. But we still control a large support across the country and actually around the world. So we're blessed in that regard. And many of the schools in different parts of the country are smaller in their enrollment and smaller in their alumni base. And so we're fortunate.
Visiting with Gene Smith, Director of Athletics at Ohio State. Gene, I know, I don't have to recap it, but the month of August and the offseason was not a fun one for Ohio State and Buckeye Nation. Coach Meyer served the suspension. You served the suspension. I'm sure it was a difficult time for you, but moving forward, what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? What lessons were learned either by you or the university that you think ultimately will make the athletic department, the football program, Ohio State stronger?
Well, I think, obviously we've moved on beyond that and we've understood what we were suspended for and accepted it. But, we feel comfortable that our efforts to continue to communicate with the right people will be the greatest lesson learned and try and make sure we continue to involve the right people as we deal with different things as we move forward. And we failed in that regard with this one. So it's a lesson learned. And the greatest thing about these opportunities is you have a chance to be resilient and look for the long haul. Which I've tried to make sure, Urban and everyone else does is look for the long haul. And so that's what we're focused on.
Coach Meyer has said when he came back, his relationship with you, Dr. Drake, is good. Talked about the respect that he has for you. From your end, how is that relationship? And it's been a good working relationship that you've had with Coach Meyer, correct?
Oh, yeah, it's always been. And, we philosophically, we share the same beliefs, relative to what we are all about. And, we really are committed to the total development of the student athlete. And, Stan, when he was in college and when I was in college, it was totally different. And today we provide so many life skills and teachable moments for our young people to help them get ready for a career. That it's just remarkable. He talks a lot about Real Life Wednesdays, but there's so many other elements that we focus on. That our mantra now is recruitment to career. Graduation is taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
It's recruitment to career, and so he and I share so many philosophies that are aligned, and we just feel blessed that we have a chance to do what we do at a platform like Ohio State, so we can help these young people have these successful lives when they leave us.
So speaking of that, Gene, obviously since '93 when I was on campus, it's changed a ton. The horseshoe has changed. The basketball arena is there now. We've got the Jesse Owens track field. What else can we anticipate in the future? Where are the other changes that are happening on campus?
Well, it's crazy. You know, in the athletic space, you know, I was just looking at this the other day. We're spending about $181 million over the last 3 years in facility improvements. And just to give you a snapshot of a few, we've renovated the shot. People will come to the games this fall, and you'll see the renovated concourses and the basketball offices and some of the things you guys have heard about, may have seen. That's a $32 million renovation. We added a $49 million Covelli Jennings facility that will open in May, which is for some of our Olympic sports and wrestling. Then we've added the Shoemaker facility. There's a $46 million facility that's for all of our Olympic sports and has a number of different things in it. The expansion of the WAC, about an $8.5 million renovation. We're going to build a new indoor tennis facility. Right now our tennis facility is out on Bethel Road. We're going to build a $21 million tennis facility. And so there's a number of different facilities that we're bringing online. And then in the shoe, you all know we're adding more suites. We're adding low seats that I think people are going to love, those who purchase them. They're kind of the new seating arrangement in arenas now. And, you know, most people don't see this. We've spent about $6.2 million recoating the cement in the stadium. And nobody sees that. It's not sexy, right?
No, but it would have been a shorter list, Gene, to ask you what sports aren't having their facilities upgraded.
No, it's probably true. Yeah, and we got more down the pike, and so we're blessed obviously with Buckeye Nation, but we're about providing our young people with the best classrooms and where they play and compete and get ready. That's their classroom, and we want to make sure they have the best.
Visiting with Gene Smith, Director of Athletics from Ohio State University. One of the common things that we've heard probably the last couple of months from the fan base, Gene, is there's a lot of people frustrated with the national perception of Ohio State after the investigation and everything and how the story was reported and inaccuracies and all that. Do you get wrapped up in that at all? Is there anything that bothers you that you hear, watch, see about the perception of Ohio State now coming out of this thing?
Not really. You know, I'm old school. I'm from the east side of Cleveland, so nothing really bothers me. So, you know,
yeah.
No,
got to have a thick skin, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta. You know, in today's world, where there's so many platforms for people to share their thoughts and feelings and beliefs, and you just could lose yourself tracking that. And I tend to lean to make sure I pay attention to the journalists, you know, like yourselves, people who do their homework, who are legit, who have informed opinions and thoughts. If you try to track everything out there, you're going to get out of that space. The other thing I pay attention to are the people who are rational, reasonable, and prudent. And otherwise, you'll get trapped in spaces where people are not, and that you lose yourself. And so I try my best to focus in those particular areas, and also keep a focus on what I know. What I know is what we do for our kids. Our graduation rates are higher. The number of student athletes maintaining a 3.0 GPA are higher. You know, when we have kids who are on the football field playing for us, who already have their degrees, and then we have some who will walk in December. That's the stuff
that's good.
I keep my focus on. So anyway, I don't get trapped in that, and I know in the long haul when we hopefully are holding up the crystal ball. That's what matters.
Well, Gene, being from Cleveland, you had to be upset about that call on Carlos Hyde on Sunday, though, right?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That's the double whammy of Buckeye getting screwed and the Browns getting screwed.
Yep, there you go.
I thought the tie earlier in the season was hard enough. That game was hard enough. I think I lost 10 pounds with that game.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! It's just so painful for my Brownies. It's just So that's why I'm leaning heavily on my Indians, though.
There you
There
go.
we go.
That's right.
I'm leaning heavily on my Indians, but no, I'm still proud of the Browns. They're fighters now. That's what I love right now. I want them obviously to win games, but I like the spirit I see. We got more talent, but I like the spirit, and that hasn't been there for a long time.
No, it hasn't. There's
I
actually
like
some energy, even though he planted a flag in the stadium last year, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm still not over that.
I keep reminding people, we went down there and beat them in a storm.
That's right.
We sat in our locker room and ate sandwiches for almost 3 hours, and we came out there and spanked them. Don't forget about the flag.
There you go. Exactly. Hey, Gene, we really appreciate you taking a few minutes for us, and I just want to let you know you're always welcome. If you have something you want to say or here's something that isn't right, you always have an open line to talk to us.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything.